I'd like to call the November meeting of the Westonka School Board to order. If everybody would rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chair moves for approval of the agenda. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Announcements. The Facilities Committee meeting is this Wednesday the 15th, 7 o'clock right here. Finance Committee meeting is November 30th, 7 o'clock a.m. Doing that by Zoom. And Policy Committee meeting December 4th will be at 5:30 in Conference Room A, and the regular board meeting will be here at 6 o'clock. Are there any members of the public that wish to come before the board to speak? Okay. Then we'll move on to the student rep report. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Alright, thank you. So I'm going to start by going over the activities. So Student Senate just had our Be the Change Week from October 23rd to 27th. And we focused on implementing a mental health component of the week along with the anti-bullying theme we've had in past years. Student Senate is also hosting Staff Appreciation Week this week, which is November 13th to 17th. And we are thanking all of our staff, not just teachers, through a lot of thank you cards, breakfasts, and other events throughout the week. We had 8 DECA members make it to the internationals in the Virtual Business Challenge already before our season even started. The district's competition is on January 7th, and all officers and first-year members went to the Hyatt Regency in Minneapolis for the Back to Business Challenge a couple weeks ago. Robotics is continuing to meet, and they're getting ready for their first competition soon. Math League just had their first meet. They placed first in the section and tied for first in the division. Tanner Bloom and Rohan Nella had top performances. The speech team hosted an interest meeting on November 8th. Their season is also starting soon, and the Science Olympiad season is starting soon. National Honor Society just hosted the Poinsettia fundraiser, and they sold 1,376 plants. And the Fall Blood Drive for National Honor Society is taking place this Wednesday, November 15th. Moving on to the arts, our band and choir are just getting back from a trip to New Orleans today. 9 students are participating in the Junior Winds Honor Band on Saturday, and Sullivan Rothenberger and Braden Trundle were selected to perform in the Gus Davis Honor Band last week. MWHS Theater is getting ready for their first season of the MSHSL one-act competition. They'll be casting at the end of November for the January competition. The GMS Theater is set to perform Little Mermaid Junior this weekend. Shows are Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. This features over 70 middle school students on the stage and in the crews. In academics, we just finished quarter 1 on November 3rd, and students cannot participate in a winter sport activity if they fail their class. And I think that was something new this year. Westonka Public School students scored in the top 10 districts in the state on 2023 MCAs and Minnesota Test of Academic Skills. Overall, Westonka had the 3rd highest % proficient in math, the 4th highest % proficient in reading, and the 3rd highest % proficient in science in the state of districts testing at least 100 students in a grade level in 2023. So those were the people who took the test in 2023. Lastly, with athletics, the swim and dive team is sending 5 athletes to the state tournament. The state qualifiers were Anne-Marie Johnson, Erica Johnson, Camille Ness, Anna Sullivan, and Peyton Schmidt. Sophie Engresser made the state cross-country meet, and she competed on November 4th, and then all other fall sports have ended their season. Moving on to winter sports, the dance team started their winter season on October 30th, and they are getting ready for their first competition on December 2nd. Girls hockey started their season on October 30th, and they've had 2 games so far. And then a lot of sports are starting today or in the next week, and those are boys and girls wrestling, boys swimming, boys and girls basketball, Nordic and alpine skiing, and boys hockey. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
You said that all in one breath.
Thank you, Natalie.
We'll move on to the treasurer's report, Ralph.
Yep, we begin with September, Hilltop Families, Hilltop Primary School, $620. Mary Ann and Stephen Miller, Shirley Hills Primary School, $1,000. Anonymous Community Ed, WCT, $810. Lyle and Brenda Bonema and Newman Scholarship, $100. Butch Humber, Larry Excel Scholarship, $100. Margot Spaniards, Class of 2012 Scholarship, $1,000. Blackbaud Giving Fund Captain's Club, $20. Anonymous Captain's Club, $300. Lacrosse Boosters, Westonka Boys Lacrosse, $6,327.22. DJ LLC Hawkettes Dance Team, $100. Crown Automotive LLC Hawkettes Dance Team, $2,000. Ryan Hawkettes Dance Team, $500. JC Industries Hawkettes Dance Team, $500. Prairie Landscaping Hawkettes Dance Team, $300. And Paul Carlson Hawkettes Dance Team, $75. A lot of fans there. Mound American Legion, this is for October 23. Mound American Legion, Westonka Special Services, $1,220. Anonymous Hilltop Primary School, $180. Colleen Clark, Shirley Hills Primary School, $1,000. Shirley Hills PTO, Shirley Hills Primary School, $11,025. Charities Aid Foundation, MWHS, $174.64. Westonka Community Ed Football, MWHS Football, $5,829.92. Anonymous Community Ed Sponsored Student, $500. Various Families, Community Ed WCT, $523.25. Butch Humbert, Larry Excel Scholarship, $100. Mound Farmers Market Scholarship, $1,000. Anonymous Captain's Club, $250. And MWHF Swim and Dive Boosters, Girls Swim and Dive, $5,350.09. Total cash donations for 24 so far, 2024, $88,150.55. We did have a non-cash donation from the Loose Line Orchard, the Paul Black family, 150 children's aprons, chef hats, and oven mitts for Adventure Club and Early Learning. And Mr. Chair and fellow board members, I've looked at the check ledgers for September and October, and it all seems to be in good order.
Thanks, Ralph. Are there any school board committee reports? None, then we'll move on to the financial report, Kathy.
Good evening, board members. Okay, just a real short presentation tonight. We'll dive right into our sorry about that. We'll dive right into the enrollment review. We've had 2 full complete months of school, September and October. The chart before you gives a recap of those 2 months. On the far left-hand side represents our elementary buildings, early childhood through grade 4. The next cluster is our middle school, grades 5, 6, and 7, and our high school, grades 8 through 12. And the far right-hand is the combined building total district enrollment. You can see we dropped 4 students at the middle school between those 2 month snapshots, but ironically we gained 4 at the elementary. Our high school stayed the same, and so our district enrollment is 2,407 students. Our adopted budget calls for 2,383 students, and so we're really pleased at the position that we're in going into the revised budget. We are positive about 24 students district-wide. We'll continue to monitor that closely. We usually link to our December enrollment when we do the revised budget, but again, we'll watch that closely to see how things progress, but hopefully it'll stay nice and even like this. Revenue and expenditures through the end of October show that we collected just under 7 million, or 6,982,000, or 18.8% of our budget, adopted budget. And we have expended 10,364,000, or 29%. The financial reports show that both revenues and expenditures are on track to our adopted budget. There is a slight difference, but when I looked back, they are both related to the prior years being some CARES federal funding that we aren't receiving this year. And then lastly, the business services team is busy with preparations underway for the revised budget. That will be presented at the February 1st school board meeting, and we'll be talking about that in a couple weeks. The last day of the month, the finance committee meets, and we'll be reviewing the budget calendar. Again, the largest piece of our budget ties to our enrollment, so we always review that. We have our truth and taxation hearing at our December meeting, so we'll be reviewing the final pay 24 levy. And the last item that we'll be talking about is facilities and our construction planning and our path that way.
November 30th, that's Thursday again?
It is.
Thursday meeting?
It is. Mm-hmm. Any questions or comments?
Quick and painless.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if I've ever seen the enrollment stay like,
Yeah.
active like that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real positive sign for sure.
At the turn of the year, at the end of the year, beginning of, do you normally see some fluctuation there or not?
You can, yeah. Sometimes families move, and but historically, we've been really blessed with really fairly stable enrollment. We haven't seen a lot of fluctuation. So.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We'll move on to the superintendent's report. 7.
Yes, so in your agenda today, you have our district calendar and consent for next year, and so you'll take action on that. And then the shell calendar, just way of a reminder, we know that families and others like to plan, and so we always approve a detailed calendar the year before. We do it the year before because of staff development days and wanting to make sure it really aligns with our educational initiatives. But we also know that people like to know longer in advance at times of when some larger breaks are, when the start and the end of the school year are. And so we approve what we call as a shell calendar. And so that's in your consent agenda. You're going to see a number of, in addition to staff that we're approving, you're going to see our winter coaches. And just a couple things I think that are worth of note. Alpine ski was a new sport a long time ago, and the coach that took it on was Scott Smiley. And Scott Smiley is still there coaching that sport, and I think that's pretty cool. At the time, we approved that as a self-funded sport, and it was a group of people that just had the passion of bringing that opportunity to our kids. And to see someone like Scott, and then obviously Frankie and Dennis have been with that too for a long time, but Scott was one of the originals, just want to make point of that. When you go down that list, you talk about Nordic, and we have Dr. Miner here, who obviously is a co-head coach, but you look at that list of programs that go on, and there's a lot of opportunities for kids at Westonka. We're really proud of that, and we're really thankful for people that'll take on the duty of coaching, because that winter season's a long season, and there's a lot involved in it, but it's really an important season, and so we're thankful for that. For your action.
Sue Harrison, isn't that Ralph's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just be careful now.
The discussion action items, we have American Education Week. That's something that we always put on every year. You're going to see a resolution for supporting Form A application to the Minnesota State High School League, and then also Form B. Form A is ability for us to receive grant dollars that can help offset expenses for kids that can't afford activities. So that doesn't cover it, but the state does provide some funding, and so by approving that, you allow for that. With the Grant B, what we're using that grant for is AED machines. And so those are 2 grants that we're asking you to allow us access to those funds. Obviously, D&E is a lot of news, of course, and that's the election that just took place last Tuesday. And so in those forms and in your actions, you're approving the results. And the results were for school board and 2 questions. The school board results were for the incumbents and David Olson, and we appreciate that everyone ran, but congratulations to all of you. And then also, as we say that, we have to acknowledge Kelly, and next meeting we'll be able to acknowledge your time on the board, but thank you for your service. Also, we had a renewal of our capital projects levy. That allows funding for our curriculum and our technology, and so that continues. And then also the approval of the 25-year building bond. And so we know on the building bond that that was a close vote. We appreciate the participation in our community for that vote. I would say that we're really excited for the meaning and the progress that we can bring through these projects. And I would use the word transformational. I would say that through this, not only do we address safety and security, not only do we address maintenance, but we address opportunities for our kids, and also, I feel, a great investment in our schools and community. And so with that, I obviously take great responsibility in making sure we do right, the best that one could expect out of those dollars. And so I would just share with everybody the day after the election, it wasn't working hours and already going to work trying to make sure that we didn't miss any time about how can we take the next steps to put ourselves in the best position. So I'm really excited, I'm really thankful. I'm also understanding that not everyone voted for that and that it was a close vote, but it's a vote that I really believe is going to make a difference, and that's what has my best effort now, is to really show that to our school community and our greater community. And so really, really thankful. In addition to that, we have a couple positions that we're asking for your approval. One is for kitchen assistant 1 positions in each site. During COVID, we drew back some of our food service positions because we wanted to meet budget with how things were going, and we've slowly added positions back. We now are looking at staffing with our new lunch program, and we need to adjust and staff that better.
Is that state lunch program now in effect that
Yes.
provides free breakfast and lunch?
That's correct.
For every student?
That's correct. And so that would be to help out with staffing. Same thing for custodian. We're asking for a district-wide float. We're finding that we have the need for a sub. It's hard to staff a sub, and the importance of that position. And so this will put us in a better position to keep our buildings clean. It doesn't cover all subs that we'd have on a day, but I think it does help by having 1 position there. When we look at the paraprofessional positions, that's due to caseloads that we see in our building, and so we're asking for 1 new paraprofessional at the Mount Westonka High School and 1 also for Grandview Middle School. Just last thing in closing, I just want to say thanks to the board for, it was a 2-year process in leading to the bond. It was a 2-year pragmatic process. It was a process that we identified what we heard or saw for issues that wanted to be addressed. We took a lot of time to study that. We took a lot of time to gather input, if it was surveys, demographic studies, focus groups, input sessions, again, surveys. I want to thank all the parents that got actively involved in this. Incredible efforts of really investing into the Westonka district and the Westonka students and the Westonka community, and I couldn't be more thankful for just the widespread engagement by so many people. But I really do appreciate that the board brought these questions to the community. So to all of you, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Chair moves for approval of the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Can I ask 1 question?
Sure.
Just to make sure, if I'm reading through the contract approvals and resignations, There's one person that we approved a contract, we're approving a contract for, and we're also approving a resignation for.
Sometimes we have change. That happens. You have to approve their contract because they worked, and in that same time,
They decided that it wasn't for them. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a typo or something.
Good catch. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Move on to discussion items. Chair moves for approval of action item 7A, approval of proclaiming November 13th to the 17th American Education Week. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7B, resolution of governing board supporting Form A application to Minnesota State High School League Foundation. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7C, resolution of school board governing board supporting Form B application to Minnesota State High School League Foundation. Is there a second?
Second?
You said this was for AED machines?
Yeah.
Okay.
B is.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7D, resolution canvassing returns of votes of school district general and special elections. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7E, resolution authorizing an issuance of certificates of election and directing school district clerk to perform other election-related duties. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7F, approval of adding a new kitchen assistant, one position at Mount Westonka High School, Grandview Middle School, Hilltop, and Shirley Hills. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7G, approval of adding a temporary 1.0 FTE custodian district-wide float position. Much needed. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action items 7H, approval of adding one special education paraprofessional position at Mount Westonka High School. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Chair moves for approval of action item 7I, approval of adding one special education paraprofessional position at Grandview Middle School. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just wanted to reiterate something a little bit here too, and thanks for all your hard work and for board members' hard work on this this last week with the voting. And you know, what makes me proud is the transparency that we used. I mean, this was a long process, and we got the community involved with the decision making, and this is going to be a game changer for our kids and my grandkids. All right, if there are no further items, the chair moves for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good week, you guys.